Good afternoon. Welcome to OptionsTender. It's Wednesday FOMC minutes. We have 20-year auction. We have the VIX expiration Wednesday, February 19th, 2025. Now, this is an important video. This is the moment of truth. We're going to run through this fairly quickly on each, try to show what's happening while we're hitting the historic 1929 and 2000 trend line. Just a second ago tagged it. All right, so let's go check it all out. We're doing this intraday about 12 to 19 Eastern Standard Time. If you want to get these videos intraday, consider becoming a YouTube member. It's only 99 cents. If you want to get the individual analysis, we did a very clear setup, bearish setup on NVIDIA today from the top down, gave the full analysis. It's just a clean chart. So definitely check that out. Here we go. SPX on the monthly time frame. For those that are new here, we've been eyeing this 1929, 2000, all the way to 2025. We're on this trend line right now as we speak. 2008, 2021, now this confluence right here, right now. We made a brand new high just a minute ago with negative divergence on the RSI here and lower highs on a slow stoke. So we're waiting for that to turn. We don't have a confirmation for the MACD crossover yet, but that doesn't happen until we get lower highs and start some market structure on the higher time frames. But that's what we'll be looking for. Weekly. I don't think we don't look at this often, but let me see if we have any monthly. I don't believe I have any monthly. Oh, yes. Let's go to SPY. Sorry. Okay, so same thing on SPY. We're looking at that confluence. We have a supposed breakout here, right? Each of these monthly candles broke down from that high there with wicks. Are we going to do the same thing now? We're on this trend line right now. We need to get above it, and then we can start a bullish trend for this breakout, right? But we're at it, so this is the moment of truth. Let's see what happens. Now, is there any time and prices? What I was asking, yes, we're at time and price right now. We had one here last month, but we have a time and price for a potential high right now on the monthly time frame. That's huge news. If we get a reversal candle, I think that will be the time and price coming together. And what do I mean by time and price? I mean high to high, low to high. Let me just show this example. So with this one, we have a high, and this is all one trend, right? So we have our high to low from the Corona crash, and the high, our first high here to low, time relationship to high. That would be called high to low to high, and a time relationship. So let's go to the weekly. On the weekly time frame, jamming right against that trend line. Just a closer look at it. And the most important thing, this is the range here. So if we break back down from this 8 EMA, we're going to test that 20 moving average, and that's going to be our big test. It's going to be a very important indicator to watch for. Okay, so I don't know how fast this will be if we do get our reversal, right? Got to get on top of this trend line and continue to move higher from there. Then we have to look for those bullish setups, which would clearly be items like Tesla and Microsoft, and maybe Google and Amazon can get back above their channels, that sort of thing. All right. Let's go to the time and price. We are in that cluster for a top. we're looking for a top since price is up here above in this cluster, which they're weeks, right? Not the actual date, like 213, for example, or I think that's 217. It's the week of. All right, so we're in that cluster right now. And this one is 217 also. So 220, this one is. So this is our cluster for a top. We're looking for a top. And our first stop, if we make it past this 20 moving average, is the 565, this 560 zone. It goes all the way down from 555 to 565 zone, and that's where this 50-week moving average, we're gonna get a reaction off of this. If we didn't get a reaction off this, it'd be a devastating move. So we're gonna get a reaction off of this, probably a nice wick, and we'll be looking for a bounce off of that when we get our reversal. It was our former secondary target there, FYI. Let's go to the daily. On the daily time frame, are we just setting up another range move to the bottom of the range? If so, this is the zone that we're looking for. Okay? If we break this trend line, I think we get down to the end of the zone, back test, head lower. That's what we're looking for. If price gets above this trend line that we're at today, now, already reacted off of it. We're down a little bit back into the negative, but we get above here, then we can start working on some calls. But for now, we're just holding on to puts with dear life. All right, so we have our 200 moving average down here. We have consolidation here, consolidation here. So this would be a good point to see from there. And again, I didn't show on the weekly, but we have negative divergence. We didn't get a confirmation here on the daily time frame, but we're forming it. So this is, it appears to be curling up. So we'll see what happens from that point. If we start to move down, then we're going to create that confirmation there. On the RSI, weaker. Just got another negative divergence today. Same thing with the slow stoke. That looks like it wants to curl. That starts to curl and break this 80. That will be another sell signal there. Awesome oscillator, negative divergence all the way through. See if we have anything on the D mark. No, nothing here. Bollinger Bands, this is a setup for the RSI is back in overbought territory with a touch at the Bollinger Band. So that's a setup, a sell signal for some people. I just kind of monitor it. I don't actually trade off of Bollinger Bands and the RSI. I just know that that's a common setup. Let's go to the 65. And by the way, I know I constantly show this, but this is what the market is capable of when you have a top. Things can happen within 9 bars or so. You can get 7% easily, and there's even more. I have a lot more that move even quicker and faster down, but I'm not suspecting that. That's not probable, right? But that would be a black swan event. Let's go to time and price. So we have something coming into cluster coming in. We had one yesterday. I took that off there, and we have 220. So maybe, looking into today, tomorrow, maybe we're a day early. Maybe we get our top tomorrow. I don't know. But 220 seems to be another cluster there for the end of the week. And then we'll see what else is happening coming up next week, where price is when time comes into place. Now, I set this channel here for the bulls just to stay into this channel. If this is a wave 4, this was initial wave 1 into 2, and then the bottom of 2 and 4, you can usually set up a channel for a possible target to the upside. So if we start seeing price get above that trend line, here's our targets. 618 is the first one, but likely that won't hold. We'll have to see what the structure looks like, but it looks really incomplete. whether you're bull or bear, this looks like just some sort of corrective formation. But this would be a 1-2, 1-2, and we're really starting to get shallow. We should ride this 8 EMA momentum indicator to the upside, and our final target should be around 629. And by final, I just mean where we really take off our trades. There, you could go up to 200%, and this channel top as well. But that would be our final target. We're really starting to lighten up on our calls if and when we get above that trend line. All right, and then let's go to 65. On that 65 minute, here's what we're monitoring. We're getting a rejection right off of the trend line. That's the historic trend lines, and it also coincides with the top of this megaphone type pattern. So the bulls, if we're looking for a reversal here, really want to hold this flag breakout. But if that doesn't hold, then the trend line should be next, okay? And I hate to keep like, you know, this, and this, but there's 3 different levels. Technically, this channel is valid down here, getting into the gap zone. So you could reach the bottom of the flag again, but to me, that starts to get really ugly. We're breaking trend. I don't think it belongs down here without being bearish. So at that point, we'll probably just sell the rip. So if this complete wave 1 down here, we get a reaction off of this point, we'll probably get maybe some sort of back test to the options expected move going into Friday. That would be a typical situation with very volatile expiration. If we get a sharp reversal and then we bounce into Friday and we end up right back on the options expected move, the lower end here. So I suspect if any move happens, we're gonna break this options expected move, but I could see price really just ripping to the downside and ripping back up by the end of the week here and ending at 601. And all that would do was backtest. It would backtest this major trend line that we're keeping our eye on. All right, so that's one possible situation that we'll be looking for. So we'll probably take some profit into this 590 area for our puts and see what happens with price. Maybe even play a small bounce or so here. I think that might be the most probable situation. If this breaks down, then we're just gonna head lower faster. Okay. So anything's possible. Do we get a straight shot down to our target area? I'm not so sure, but I could see ending the whole week right after here, after everybody gets super bearish, and we'll end up at 601. Do we have any? What we were showing earlier on the Discord and on Twitter was this move here. So we had our 9 sell signal, and really if the price holds up a little bit more, you can get another 9 count in here. But we have a 9 sell signal. That's a good spot with negative divergence here on the MACD confirmed already, and RSI overbought with negative divergence. Same with the slow, so it's starting to curl down. We're already getting that early sell signal on the 65 minute. Bollinger Band, same thing. All right, touching that Bollinger Band with oversold or overbought, excuse me. And then let's see if we have any time price. All right, clean up this one. We have the 19th, we have a time and price. So, I mean, we could have our high end today, 20s tomorrow, but we're rejecting right off the top of that trend line. I put it in here just so we can see this whole formation. And then what we can count this as, bull or bear, you could say, hey, we have our wave 1 in already, and all this is an A, a B, and a nice impulse wave for a C down into retracements, like the 50%, for example. Then that would take us right into our zone anyway, whether you're bull or bear. and we have some, it looks like some time and price clusters coming up. So we'll be looking at that on the lower end. So is this an ABC for larger wave 2? All right. Or is this some sort of 1, 2, 3, 4 in here, and then 1, 2, 3, a little 4, and eked out a 5 today. All right, and that's the end. Wave 5, a 5, a 5, or whatever, and then done. Historic top, impulse wave down. Probably get a reaction off the 50%, that whole 560 zone that I was talking about. Okay, so I think that's getting fairly probable. I know I have numbers all over the place here, but we're trying to keep track of what's going on. It's just a lot of shenanigans, and this is going to play out. It's going to start getting wild here pretty soon. Let's go to the Qs. On the Qs, we had a divergence so far of where we're getting a lower high on the Qs and a higher high on SPY. So this one, I added a trend line in here, and then this breakout, we have no business really getting back under there. And this move, possibly, I guess, a 1, 2, 3, 4, some sort of 4 in here, and wave 5 to complete the entire move. Or again, we're starting the structure, and we need to get a 1, 2, maybe this a 1, 2, and ABC for 3, and we need to get a wave 4 and 5 in here. We'll see, but if this breaks down, then I think the top is in. SMH. SMH, we went through this along with NVIDIA. Hope I said that right for y'all. But really, we're just getting an ABC move here for a lower high. Let's see if I have anything marked in here. So we're at the 62% retracement of the move so far. I think we eked out a new high. Maybe not, lower high. I'm not going to waste time on that. So we're at a retracement where this is possibly a 1-2 setup, and that'd be overall a 1-2-1-2 setup. And I went over IWM on the daily with also SMH. So we know that those are good setups here. And on IWM, again, just weak. This needs to really start to take off for possibly an ABC or a 1-2-1-2-1-2 setup to go higher with new highs, right? If you're a bull. But right now it looks like this is just another 1-2 setup to the downside. The 50-day moving average and the 20, they're all curling down here. Let me look at my other screen real quick. And then, yeah, so we're pushing off of the 50, 20. All the moving averages are kind of clustered together here, just like on the 65. And so we're looking for a big move. Whether it goes either way, we'll see. DIA, we're waiting to see how this triangle or this equilibrium resolves, and that will help us see what is happening with the rest of the market. VIX. I'll do an individual analysis on Palantir for those. I'll take a look at it real quick here in this video just to get a look at it. But the VIX here has a nice flag, that nice breakout from a wedge, that a big, huge bullish falling wedge. And now it's consolidating in this triangle. We have some great lows here that held, and we're just making a higher low so far. So we'll see what happens. We're at support here. So let's see if this support holds. And then we'll look at this on the daily time frame as well. So on the daily, you can see this. This on the weekly, we have a huge wedge here that we broke out of and holding. I gotta show this over and over because it just makes sense. So huge bullish rising wedge. We broke out of it. And now we're making a higher low and consolidating. And to me, this is a range. This looks like a left shoulder, head, right shoulder, and we're holding that. Look how beautiful that range bottom is. And so we held on to that. Let's see if we get a reversal to the upside, at least to the top of this range again. But pretty soon, I think this is going to resolve. A break above 22, and this thing is probably going to take off to the moon. Okay, moonshot on VIX. And again, if it breaks down from the zone, same thing. So there's our wedge on the daily time frame. Let's change the board to the daily. And this is all that's really happening. We're consolidating here, and we need to see this price action get back over that 200 moving average out of this consolidation and start to break the range here. But these lows look really good in confluence with that wedge, and we'll see. We'll see what happens with price action, maybe even to the end of today. You know, today's VIX variation, so it should start to open up the market to move with whatever kind of news and catalysts happen. Palantir, I need to chart this. I don't have a bunch on here, but just using indicators itself, it looks like we have a 5-wave move in here and some sort of last wave there, and completely oversold with negative divergence on the RSI. Now the MACD is just out there, right? So this doesn't have to get a negative divergence, but this could cycle all the way back through. The momentum is clearly to the upside until it's not, right? Let's go to, if you go to the monthly, same thing. This thing could make new highs, eventually make new highs. Maybe it comes all the way back to test. But I think the move is done here. I think we have a 5-wave move. Good structure that can continue, but this needs to correct. At minimum, this needs to correct. And with the way this market looks, this could be a deep correction. We're at 120s. I mean, this thing could come all the way back to 45 and still be a healthy move. So I'll just continue on the daily, really. Looks like at minimum, it looks like this structure 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 is done. So again, at minimum, if we start from where this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So if we're starting from this structure here, maybe we have a couple more highs to go. And then you have to start working. I'm not spending a whole bunch of time on this for this, but at minimum, we should see, at very minimum, a correction to 84 for a 382 correction. And you see there's good resistance, and that would create support there at the bottom of this gap. So I think that's in the near term, 100, probably get a little bit of a bounce there at the 20 trend indicator. But after that, I think this should fail. I think this should test 84, and that's a huge move from 124 to 84, being a 40. It's probably a 30% move if my math is correct. And so I could see that happening. And that's about it. If the market continues to move higher after a correction, Palantir can continue to move up from here, make new highs, and finish off some structures. You see some things happening. Maybe this in here, maybe this is the end of that first move, and then you got a shallow correction, and you have a 1, 2, 1, 2, that sort of thing. We don't know what this equals. It could be a 1, 2, 1, 2. Maybe this is all 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and that's just a 1, 2 in itself. And you have one correction, new high, and that's done. All right. So just keep those things in mind. The meat of the trade is done. If you want to short it, this is a great spot to get a near-term short, maybe a swing, but I wouldn't hold on to it past 84, if anything. All right, you guys, that's it. Thanks for all the likes and subscribes and all the support for the channel. Keep it growing, and we'll talk to you soon.